Unusual sight, consecutive snowfall in Guangdong and Guangxi. Depositors at Henan village town bank threatened, children implicated. Hindering Xi Jinping's Taiwan takeover ambitions? Sudden arrests of several key military officials. Apple was suppressed after Huawei pre-sold new phones. Analysis: this is a deliberate operation by the CCP. Huawei absent from China's top 500 private enterprises list. Is the next wave of US sanctions targeting them? It's all covered in today's China Truths. Unusual sight, consecutive snowfall in Guangdong and Guangxi. Amid Typhoon Huawei continues to linger in Guangdong and Guangxi, leading to widespread flooding in many areas. Snowfall has been reported in Foshan, Guangdong, and Nanning, Guangxi. These regions are located in the southernmost part of China, and traditionally, they rarely experience snow, even during winter. Now, these areas are facing heavy snowfall in mid-September, which is highly unusual. In detail, on September 11th, a video circulated online, showing heavy snowfall within a building materials market in Guangxi. In the video, large snowflakes quickly covered the ground. People expressed their surprise, exclaiming, "Oh my God, and it's snowing!" Some even took out their phones to capture videos. The address on the sign of a building materials store reads Nanning City Taiwan Building Materials Market, and the contact phone number is a Nanning City, Guangxi, mobile number. Prior to this, a video circulated online showing snowfall in Foshan, Guangdong, on September 8th. The person filming exclaimed in Cantonese, September 8th, 2023, snowfall in Luanjiao by Guiyuan, Shund, Guangdong. It's my first time seeing this. Luanjiao by Guiyuan is located in Shund District, Foshan City. This phenomenon has sparked vibrant discussions among internet users, with some stating that the injustice is too heavy, it's quite fitting, just like China's economic winter, and this is a sign from the heavens, a warning to humanity, but many people still don't realize it, which is very dangerous. Meanwhile, Typhoon Huawei continues to rampage across the mainland, causing significant devastation in its path. The typhoon has now weakened into a tropical low-pressure system, bringing heavy rains across a wide area from central to southern China, especially in Guangdong, Guangxi, and Henan. Authorities have hastily released water from reservoirs, leading to widespread flooding, and the full extent of casualties is still not fully accounted for. Depositors at Henan village town bank threatened, children implicated. The issue of debt involving rural banks in Henan remains unresolved to this day. Many depositors not only cannot access their funds but have recently faced new threats. In detail, a circulating screenshot online depicts unidentified individuals threatening depositors of rural banks in Henan, stating, "We have been observing you for a long time, deleted a few of your videos, and are issuing a specific warning. Our organization does not permit this continued self-media coverage." They attached personal information about the depositors, including details about where their children attend school. Depositors have expressed that using their children's lives as a means of intimidation is reminiscent of organized crime or even terrorism. They suspect that this may be the work of employees from the Hunan Provincial Internet Information Office or the Stability Maintenance Office. Depositor Xiao Su, alias, stated, "We are being persecuted and prevented from making withdrawals or deposits. They have frozen our bank accounts for over 500 days. Once these facts are exposed online, they threaten and intimidate you, especially your family, even targeting your children, including minors. Your children are your vulnerability, and they exploit this vulnerability to silence you." Xiao continued, "Whenever depositors leave their homes, they are followed by vehicles and personnel. They have installed tracking devices in our cars, and there are cameras at our doorstep. We are under 24-hour surveillance." These pieces of evidence have been shared on platforms like TikTok, Quai, Weibo, and even on international platforms like YouTube and Twitter. It's these short videos that make them afraid. In a circulated video, it is shown that on the 8th, some depositors were followed by 3 individuals sent from Zhengzhou while at Beijing West Railway Station. Depositor Qin Yang, alias, revealed that due to the bank's refusal to allow withdrawals, some depositors have seen their families fall apart, leading to broken homes and casualties. Qin said he faced persecution because of his deposit issue and became a key target for nationwide stability maintenance. They used his relatives and friends to threaten him, and at any moment, something unpredictable could happen. He told his wife that he wanted a divorce, as he wouldn't dare to do anything if he didn't. He no longer had any relatives or friends. Since withdrawal fraud cases broke out in 5 rural banks in Henan and Anhui in April of last year, thousands of depositors have been unable to withdraw money, resulting in many depositors facing financial difficulties and lacking funds for medical treatment. Recently, they have initiated letter-writing campaigns to report and complain about interference by the Hunan Provincial Party Committee and provincial government in the judicial process, illegal initiation of registration and refund procedures, and more. Hindering Xi Jinping's Taiwan takeover ambitions? Sudden arrests of several key military officials. Amid reports of investigations into 2 former Chinese defense ministers, social media is buzzing with allegations that several high-ranking Chinese military officials have been arrested. This development could potentially lead to a major shakeup in the military industry in the future. Former mainland media professional, Zhao Longjian, revealed on social media that those in trouble include Liu Shiquan, chairman of China Ordnance Group, Yuan Jia, chairman of China Aerospace Science and Industry Corporation, Chen Guoying, general manager of China North Industries Group, and Tan Ruisong, former chairman of China Aviation Industry Group, who was dismissed in March. Rumors suggest that they have been detained by the Central Commission for Discipline Inspection, CCDI. Zhao pointed out that it is highly unusual for the CCDI to exert such extensive control over top personnel in the defense, military industry, aerospace, and weaponry sectors, especially during a period when Beijing was potentially planning action against Taiwan. If both the top officials and their subordinates are implicated, it could lead to a severe crackdown within the defense industry. Meanwhile, the disappearance of Chinese Defense Minister Li Shangfu has been gaining more and more attention. On September 11, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ning was asked about Li Shangfu's status. Instead of providing a direct response, Mao Ning evaded the question, stating, "I am not aware of the situation you mentioned." This response closely resembled the handling of inquiries regarding the whereabouts of Qin Gang earlier. Indian geopolitical expert and defense strategic affairs analyst in New Delhi, Brahmachalani, further commented on this, stating, "Authoritarian regimes always appear stable until they suddenly collapse. China is currently facing multiple crises." Chinese affairs expert Heng Yi, in an analysis for the new Tang dynasty, mentioned that it is indeed possible for Li Shangfu to be under investigation. The rocket force was purged before him, and judging from the statements of the Ministry of National Defense spokesperson, the purge of the rocket force was related to corruption. Heng Yi explained that significant equipment updates within the Chinese Communist Party's military are under the purview of the Ministry of Equipment Development, which has the most substantial budget. It is also the easiest target for corruption. Some time ago, Xi Jinping was eager to take action against Taiwan but later discovered that, in terms of equipment, it was at a similar level to the late Qing dynasty's Beiyang fleet, which left him extremely dissatisfied. Thus, investigations were initiated. Heng Yi believes, overall, Xi Jinping does not trust the military, so it is possible to investigate Li Shangfu. If corruption within the military affects Xi Jinping's plans for reunification with Taiwan, he will investigate. Apple was suppressed after Huawei pre-sold new phones. Analysis: this is a deliberate operation by the CCP. U.S. Secretary of Commerce Gina Raimondo embarked on her official visit to China spanning from August 27 to August 30. Remarkably, within this timeframe, Huawei took an unexpected step by commencing pre-sales of its highly anticipated Mate 60 series mobile phones. At noon on August 29, Huawei made a surprise announcement, revealing that it had already shipped an impressive total of 100 million units from its Mate series of mobile phones. This launch occurred approximately 2 weeks ahead of the previously speculated release date. Chinese media reported that this move triggered an immediate surge in consumer demand, leading to a rapid sellout of the initial batch of these new phones through online shopping channels. Adding a significant twist to the narrative, on September 5, the Beijing Daily, the official media outlet of the CCP, reported that a CCTV reporter had employed a Huawei Mate 60 Pro to capture an image of Secretary Raimondo during her visit to China. This photograph subsequently generated considerable discussions and attention. On September 6, the Wall Street Journal disclosed that the CCP had issued directives instructing officials in central government agencies to refrain from using Apple iPhones and other foreign-branded devices while at work or within office premises. Insiders familiar with the matter also revealed that Beijing had long imposed restrictions on government officials in certain agencies, prohibiting the use of iPhones during work hours. However, the latest order signifies an expansion of these restrictions, highlighting Beijing's heightened commitment to enforcing its regulations rigorously. Simultaneously, the Chinese internet is abuzz with discussions about Huawei's perceived triumph in circumventing U.S. technology restrictions. A poll titled "Will you switch from iPhone to Huawei this year?" has been circulating online. Chinese media reports that 42% of Chinese netizens expressed their intent to replace their current mobile phones with Huawei devices. It's important to note that Apple has long dominated the high-end smartphone market in China, which stands as one of its largest markets globally, contributing approximately 19% of its total revenue. Liu Yuanxing, a U.S.-based political and economic analyst with prior experience as a marketing executive at a Chinese company, shared his perspective during an interview with an Epoch Times reporter on September 10. He posits that the recent actions taken by the Chinese Communist Party to limit officials' use of iPhones, following Huawei's new phone pre-sales, were not mere coincidences but deliberate strategies. Liu Yuanxing believes that the CCP intentionally allowed Huawei to launch its new mobile phones during the visit of U.S. officials to China. This move was designed to send a message to the United States, showcasing Huawei's ability to introduce independently developed mobile phones despite years of U.S. suppression and sanctions. It's essential to recognize that Huawei has faced allegations of close ties with the Chinese government and military. The United States has claimed that Huawei's equipment contains backdoors capable of surreptitiously collecting customer data, posing a threat to U.S. national security. According to Liu Yuanxing, the recent launch of new Huawei phones serves a dual purpose. It acts as a propaganda tool for the CCP and helps generate domestic public support. Liu Yuanxing suggests that the CCP may be misleading the Chinese population by implying that the United States consistently suppresses China, even insinuating that using American-made mobile phones could jeopardize national security. This approach, he argues, is a form of deception. Additionally, Liu Yuanxing points out that the CCP's actions align with its internal circulation strategy, a concept promoted by Chinese President Xi Jinping. This strategy encourages domestic consumption of products from domestic enterprises to support the country's economy. In this context, the CCP aims to redirect financial gains toward domestic businesses rather than foreign entities. In a related development, the Wuhan EMU Police Station, a division of the Wuhan Railway Public Security Department in Hubei Province, issued a notice to Tesla, prohibiting its vehicles from entering the Wuhan EMU area. In accordance with existing regulations, wholly foreign-owned or controlled intelligent interconnected locomotives are prohibited from accessing classified areas due to security concerns. This is not the first instance of Tesla encountering such restrictions. Just last month, at Yeyang Airport in Henan, a prominent sign declared, "Confidential controlled area, Tesla entry prohibited." Subsequent investigations by reporters confirmed that Tesla vehicles were indeed barred from entering the parking facility, and this restriction had been in place for some time. As far back as May 2021, select local governments and institutions in Zhejiang and Guangxi provinces of China prohibited their employees from owning Tesla vehicles. They explicitly forbade employees in critical departments from driving into specific office zones. In March 2021, CCP authorities expressed concerns regarding Tesla cars' built-in cameras continuously capturing images and collecting data, including vehicle location and synchronized mobile phone contact lists. As a result, they imposed restrictions on military personnel and key state-owned enterprise personnel from using Tesla vehicles. The CCP also cited fears that Tesla might transmit collected data to the United States, potentially endangering China's national security. However, Tesla CEO Elon Musk promptly refuted these allegations, stating that Tesla cars' data collection would not be employed for espionage purposes. Liu Yuanqing contends that the CCP's prohibition on government personnel using Tesla vehicles, ostensibly for safety reasons, is, in reality, a falsehood. He draws a distinction between this situation and the Western countries' ban on Huawei, highlighting that the United States' actions against Huawei were based on concrete evidence and conducted through established legal procedures. In contrast, Liu Yuanqing suggests that the CCP is fabricating claims to incite nationalist sentiments, fueling dissatisfaction, and fostering antagonism and hatred toward the United States as a diversionary tactic, effectively shifting the focus of domestic public attention and conflict. Huawei absent from China's top 500 private enterprises list. Is the next wave of U.S. sanctions targeting them? On September 12, the All-China Federation of Industry and Commerce, ACFIC, unveiled the 2023 top 500 private enterprises in China list along with the 2023 Research and Analysis Report on the top 500 private enterprises in China. The top 3 positions on the list are held by JD Group, Alibaba, China Company Limited, and Hengli Group Company Limited. Interestingly, Huawei is totally absent from this list, sparking discussions among internet users. It's worth noting that in 2021 and 2022, Huawei held the first and fifth positions, respectively, on the list of the top 500 private enterprises, and it had previously dominated the top spot for several years. Huawei has always portrayed itself as a private enterprise. Information available from China's Business Registration Information Center provides insights into Huawei's ownership structure. Huawei has only 2 shareholders, Ren Xingfei, who owns about 1% of the shares, and the remaining 99% is held by the Huawei Investment and Holding Company Limited Union Committee, referred to as the Union. Huawei claims to be a company owned by its employee shareholders. In 2019, Voice of America reported a joint study by prominent Chinese legal expert and George Washington University law professor Donald Clark, along with Christopher Balding, a professor at Fulbright University, Vietnam. The report stated, Huawei's shareholders are not the company's employees but rather the union, and these kinds of organizations are controlled by the CCP. If 99% of Huawei's ownership belongs to the union, then we can argue that this company, to some extent, is a state-owned enterprise. That same year, the Times of the UK reported that the Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, had informed the head of British intelligence that Huawei had been receiving funding from the Chinese Communist Party's military, the National Security Commission of the CCP, and a third Chinese National Intelligence Network Agency. In Washington's view, Huawei has essentially been created and supported by the Chinese Communist government, with its success rooted in Ren Xingfei's close connections within the Chinese Communist Party's military and intelligence apparatus, despite Huawei's denials. Due to a series of U.S. sanctions and export controls, Huawei has been compelled to revert from 5G technology to 4G technology, effectively halting its 5G smartphone development since July 2021. Recent reports from Bloomberg suggest that Huawei received around $30 billion in official support from the Chinese government and the city of Shenzhen to establish a secret supply chain for semiconductor manufacturing. Last month, Chinese state media celebrated the achievement of Huawei discreetly launching the Mate 60 Pro, claiming to have circumvented U.S. technology restrictions and resolved the bottleneck issue. However, several foreign media outlets, citing expert analyses, have argued that Huawei's 5G phones are not truly 5G and that the production of 7nm chips using deep ultraviolet lithography has low yield and high costs, representing outdated technology that Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company, TSMC, had long abandoned. With the US, along with Japan and the Netherlands, restricting exports of lithography machines to China, the country's chip manufacturing may hit a roadblock. On the other hand, the US has openly initiated investigations into Huawei's new smartphones, indicating the possibility of more stringent sanctions. On September 12, Liberty Times cited a report from South Korean media outlet Business Korea, which revealed that SK Hynix memory chips were found in Huawei's latest Mate 60 Pro smartphone. Since South Korean companies dominate the global memory market, the production of Mate 60 Pro cannot easily replace Chinese-made chips. This development could prompt the US to consider memory chips as an effective tool for sanctions against China. Don't forget to comment in the section below to share your opinions on today's topic with us. Make sure to like and subscribe to see more interesting topics from China Truths.